Anything else you'd add? That's brilliant.
As regards
anything.
Again, going back to the love languages.
It's okay. That's a book called The 5 Love Languages by a guy called Gary Chapman. I had a friend introduce that to me in 2001, so I've been aware of that for 16 years. And I introduced that to you because I've got loads of coaching books and all different types of things, and that's a great book about relationships because then you can understand what your partner's strategy is, even not just your partner.
I use it on the children, I use it on my parents, I use it on people I work with.
Okay.
I do. Yeah. It's funny, if a friend of mine at work is going through similar problems with her, what I say, partner, they're not together at the moment, they've got a child together, they're living separately, but they're still sort of seeing each other as friends at the moment.
Okay.
And we were just talking about how his love language, I said, he can't love you the way you love him, and you've got to understand that, and maybe he's got to understand that too. And we talked at great lengths for it, and she kind of came out there going, yeah, do you know what, that does make sense. You asked me to name the love languages because the gifts thing was the thing I couldn't remember, which is quite interesting because a lot of men, a lot of people, and one of my arguments with my partner was over the act of giving gifts.
Right.
And he couldn't get into his head. He said, but I never buy you flowers, I never do this, I never buy you that.
This gift's high up for you then?
No, not at all. This is what I'm saying. And he couldn't understand, and I don't understand why that's a big deal. Have I ever asked you to buy me gifts? Have I ever asked you to buy me flowers? Yeah. And I think that's why I lasted as long as I did with my ex-husband, was because he kind of understood me in that respect, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I said to him, but I can't stress to you enough that for me that's not an issue. I can buy myself flowers. Anybody can buy anybody things. It doesn't mean you love me just because you've bought me flowers. It doesn't mean you love me because you've bought me some posh
Can we just explain to everybody, so whether I edit this out or keep it in, I'm not sure, but this is really good because you're on a roll, you're flying with this one, right? Acts of service, the 5 love languages, it means that there are 5 strategies to show love. You think, can't believe we have more than 5 strategies for showing love. There's hundreds of ways. There's a guy, really, called, what was his name?
You just said, and I can't remember.
Dr. Gary Chapman. Christian minister, actually.
I've seen his video on YouTube, actually, him and his wife, and they talked about it was worth a watch. Actually.
Okay, so they are acts of service, that's doing things for people, gifts, buying gifts. It could be just picking up a pebble on a beach and giving it to you, like your daughter and whatever, and you put it in your drawer and go, wow, you treasure it. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift.
See, that would be more important to me than somebody physically buying something.
But it's a gift.
It's a making thing. It's but you've done it. It's a thing that you've done for me.
It's an emotional connection.
Yeah.
So, acts of service, gifts, I remember alphabetically. Quality time.
Quality time was top for me.
Actually, I don't know my alphabet. Physical touch. So it's P before Q, isn't it?
Yeah. PQ.
Physical touch, and then words of affirmation. So I haven't remembered them alphabetically for a while. So acts of service, gifts, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. And we all rank those in different levels. For me, it's physical touch and words of affirmation.
Yeah.
And then quality time is third. Gifts is bottom.
Yeah.
I don't need anything. I'm all right. And you don't need to do anything for me. So acts of service, okay, thank you, that's really nice. But I'm quite self-sufficient. But all the others are really high. And then in relationships, when I've been in before, it was maybe that they really wanted to have more quality time. Quality time was higher than
quality time for me.
So that's your top, is it?
That's my top, definitely.
Quality time.
Somebody giving me their time, that is way more important. You have made time for me, and for me, that is way more important than giving me a gift.
Okay.
A gift is in, I've gone out and bought you some flowers.
Right.
And I find it highly embarrassing as well when somebody gives you something expensive, something you're not expecting.
And you don't really want it.
And it's not that because it sounds terribly ungrateful, and it's not meant to sound like that, but I don't want it and I don't need it. And if I could buy you anything, you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean I love you or care for you. It's, there you go. It just, to me, that's...
Yet if he said, I've got the weekend off and it would be really great if we spend the whole Sunday together.
Yeah.
That's like a Cartier watch or whatever.
Fantastic, yes.
Okay. What's second on the list for you?
Yeah, for me, I think, again, doing things. So you not only taking your time to spend quality time with me, but you're doing things for me.
So acts of service is second.
So an act of service, I think. So, yeah, I'll pick the kids up for you, or I'll cook the dinner, or no, I'll do the decorating, or no, it's doing things, or no, I'll go and get that for you. It's a doing thing. It's You've not only made quality time for me, but you actually make quality time and done things for me as well.
Have you then told Dean in your relationship that you're in now that these are really high?
Yeah.
And has he responded and gone, right, I have a strategy to love this woman now, I need to know,
He's understood that, because for him, I think gifts are a big thing for him.
Okay.
He is quite materialistic, whereas I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I don't like nice things and want nice things.
It's quite classic 9 behaviour.
But I can do that myself. I don't need you to do that. I'm quite capable of doing that myself. And if you can't do it, I can get somebody else to do it anyway. It doesn't matter. There's already people out there that will do things. I can pay them for it. It's for me. That's nothing. But if you're going to take time out to do that for me in your own time and make an effort, that's an effort. That's a really big thing for me.
Okay.
And I think that's physical touch. I don't know about the physical touch, because again, I'm not really let's hold hands down the street sort. But equally, it's nice to sit by each other on the sofa and hold hands, cuddle, legs up on each other, that sort of thing. And who doesn't like a kiss? So, yeah, and I'm a big hugger. With the kids, I hug. We hug.
Yeah.
I hug friends, kiss on the cheek. So that and words of affirmation are very close, I think.
Okay.
But again, I'd get a little bit embarrassed with words of affirmation, like, "Aren't you wonderful? Oh, you're so lovely," and I get a little bit. Ooh, do
you know what? I realised why we broke up when we were 16 and 17. Our love languages are completely miles apart. I'd have been waiting to hold hands going down the street. Can you tell me you love me? Sort of like, and you'll be like, why aren't you just doing stuff for me? Sort of like.
But I'm not, because I don't know. I'm just not all that mushy, slushy sort of. It's like, we were watching TV last night, and there was a couple kissing, and I got all embarrassed. I said, "Oh, kissy, kissy." I remember being like that when I was little. My gosh, oh, kissy, kissy. So it's not to say that when we're in private, I do like sitting there and hugging and kissing.
Yeah, but you know what your primary love language. I think it's important to know what your partner's primary love language is, because otherwise you think you know, and you go about going, make this person feel really loved, and you go and do something, and it's like falls flat on its feet, and you're like going, what have I done wrong here?
He couldn't get into his head. But I've never bought you flowers, and that's just wrong. I've never done this, and I've never done that. I'm like, but Dean, have I ever asked for that? Have I ever moaned about that? The answer is no, because I'm not interested. I can't tell you how uninterested I am.
So you told him, it's quality time, mate.
Yeah.
I want quality time from you, and that makes me feel sky high. It makes me feel really loved.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And he was like, oh. And he kind of sat back and had a little think about it. He went, right. And he couldn't quite still completely get in his head where I was coming from. But now I do think he kind of thinks, well, now I've accepted that, because, and then I talked about my ex-husband, Paul, with him. I said we had a lot of time together. We were very similar. We liked a lot of things, but he never did the buying things. Yes, at birthdays and Christmas, fair enough. But he never surprised me with flowers. He never surprised me with chocolates. But he did things. We spent quality time together doing things we enjoyed. So to me, that's more important, and that's why we lasted as long as we did, because he understood I'm not that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that long ago, I had somebody. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, before I met Dean. Somebody sent me flowers to work, and it's somebody I haven't been dating all that long. So in the middle of a very busy waiting room, I have this amazing bunch of flowers. I was mortified. And that again sounds super ungrateful, but I was mortified. Not only was I embarrassed in front of all these people,
right? Yeah.
Then I'm like, where do I look? I didn't know what to do. But for me, it was, but why do that? Why have you done that? You don't need to prove anything to me in that respect. That's just money.
And that might be his love language, or it might actually be his ex's, or maybe his ex who loved that, and he went, I know the right strategy. Every woman loves chocolates and wine.
And pretty much Dean has said that. Every woman, what's wrong with you? Every woman likes that.
Generalisation.
But I'm not every woman.
Exactly.
I'm not every woman. And I'm telling you, I'm not interested in that. I can't put it any... I'm being honest. I cannot put it any plainer. Yeah. I'm not interested.
I think I talked about the 5 love languages with you when you'd had a breakup, possibly. And that's when I introduced that to you. And it was profound. There's so many things that I've learned and I use because it's all part of life coaching. You think, well, you coach someone to have a better life, and when we're having lives, we have relationships of all different types, not just romantic relationships. We have relationships with our parents, and I don't have children, but you've got children. And then, have you learned their love languages with the kids?
Oliver is quite materialistic, I think, and I think he likes gifts. Yeah. Eleanor, we have binge watched Stranger Things on Netflix, and she just enjoyed
like daughter, like
there with me, just being with me, just the being and watching, and that for her she loved that. Yeah. So I think that's her love language is
quality time,
quality time.
like you.
Yeah.
So you two get on real well.